Hi Robins. So today we're going to do some science. On Monday I asked you to collect 6 items from around your house and make a clever guess as to whether you think they will sink, go all the way to the bottom, or whether they will float, stay on top of the water. So I've been around my house today because we are going to test those items. So I've gone around and I have chosen to test an orange, a hair bubble, a peg, a cotton reel, a spoon and some scissors. I have my bowl of water on a mat to protect the table, and I've also got a towel. So when the items come out and they're all wet, we're not going to get everywhere else wet, we can pop them on the towel. So make sure you're really organised when you're doing your experiment today. Okay, so an orange. Do we think that it's going to sink, go all the way to the bottom of the bowl, or is it going to float? Have a guess. What do you think? Have you got your predictions ready? Oh, let's find out, shall we? Is it going to sink or float? I'm going to pop it in. What's it doing? It's floating. Who thought it was going to float and who thought it was going to sink? It doesn't matter if we're wrong on our prediction. It doesn't matter at all. It's having a guess and actually it's testing it and finding out what the important part is. And we have found out that an orange floats. Because look, it's not touching the bottom of the bowl at all. It is floating on top of the water. So when you've got your table at home, would you put that in the sink column or the float column? Which one? Well done, it would be in the float column. I'm now going to take this out. I'm going to make sure the water's all dripped off. Oops. And I'm going to pop it on my towel because we don't want everywhere to get all wet, do we? Right then, what should I test now? I'm going to test the scissors. Do we think the scissors are going to sink, go all the way to the bottom, or are they going to float? Have a think, make your predictions. I think these might sink. Should we find out? Am I right? Let's have a look. Oh, they did sink. Look, they went right to the bottom. They sunk. I wonder why. Why do you think the scissors sunk? Is it because they're heavier? Is it because the material they're made out of? These are made out of metal and a bit of plastic. Oh, this one else. So I'm going to take them out. Drip them off. Which column did you put it in? Was it sink or float? It was sink. Well done. And pop them onto my towel. Oh, what shall I test now, children? Oh, I've got another plastic object here. Now, the scissors sunk and they were part plastic, part metal. So shall we find out what happens with a cotton reel? That's plastic. Let's have a look. Pop it in the water. What happens, children? It's floating. It stayed at the top of the water. So that was plastic. And that's plastic. But that plastic, or partly plastic thing, sunk. But this one has floated. Which column do we need to put it in? Well done, children. It's the float column. Well done. Shall I take this out now? Let's take this out. So it's not the plastic part. Let's have a look. I'm not flicking it everywhere. Need to keep our houses dry as well. Right, let's have a look. Shall we test the spoon then? What's a spoon made out of, children? What material is it made out of? It is metal. Well done. It is metal. So what do you think will happen? Is this going to sink? Remember, sink, go all the way to the bottom, or is it going to float? What do you think? Make your predictions now. Well, I think this is going to sink. That's my prediction. Doesn't matter if we're different. Shall we find out? I'm going to pop that in. It did. It went to the bottom straight away. Oh, I wonder if you're testing any metal things at home, do yours sink? Do all metal things sink? That could be something we could look at, isn't it? But it does sink. Well done. So which column is it going to? The sink column. Well done. And I'm going to go and pick it up. Keep ourselves nice and dry. And there you go. If your sleeves are longer, you might want to pull them up, children, so you don't get your sleeves wet. Right, I've got 2 more things to test. I've got a hair bubble or a peg. Should we try the hair bubble? Let's make sure this is dry before it goes into the hair. You ready? I'm going to pop the hair bubble in. What happens? Well, it hasn't gone to the bottom, children. It stayed at the top. So a hair bubble floats. It floats. Okay, then. Give it a bit of a drip. And back on my towel to keep it dry. And the last thing I have is my peg. What do you think is going to happen with my peg? Do we think it's going to sink or do we think it's going to float? Have you made your predictions? And shall we find out? Let's have a look. I'm going to pop it in. Oh, a peg sinks. And that peg is plastic, just like this. So maybe it's the shape. Oh, all things we can go and have a look at and work out and find out. And that's the amazing thing of science. We get to learn and find out lots of interesting facts and get to test them all. I'm going to take my peg out of the water. And what column would that have gone into? It would have gone into the sink column. Well done. So what I'd like you to do now is to get a bowl of water yourselves. You might need some help with this, children, because we don't want to get water everywhere in the house. And I want you to test the 6 items you made predictions about on Monday. I would then love to see videos of maybe you working out and actually showing me your science experiment. And I'd love to see how you fill out your form, how you fill out your table and how you filled it out and using your phonics. I'd love to see all of that. I'd like to have lots of fun and I'd like to see if your predictions were correct or not. Enjoy your science, children. I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye.